Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Informer Live. This is our pop-up version of Let's Talk that usually airs on Fridays at noon, but we've got a real treat today. We are going to hear from Sug Daniels. She is a part of the Black Opry Revue that's coming into town. But first, let's get a taste of what she has to sing about from her song, Take Your Time.
Crack a smile and stay well. I like your jokes and I'm a sucker for style. That pretty face stops me in place. Do you gotta leave so soon? It's just a little afternoon. One more cup of coffee, please. I know you gotta go. You have somewhere to be. I ain't no fortune teller. I can't provide no guarantee, but I got a feeling I just can't ignore. It's like a deja vu, like I've been here before, for sure.
I love that. And look who we've got here. We've got
Good
the
morning.
artist herself, Sug Daniels. Thank you for being here. And that is Sug, like sugar.
That's right.
As,
Thank you
as
so
she
much for
explained to me.
having
So
me.
Sug. And Sug is a part of the Black Opry Revue that is coming to Wolf Trap, the Barns at Wolf Trap, on Friday, March the 29th. The show is at 8 o'clock. And Sug, welcome to we are excited to talk to you and to talk a little bit about Black Opry and what they're about. So welcome. Talk to us about that song. First of all, you're from Delaware, so you're from right up the road originally. But tell us about the song, who was with you on the song in the video that we just heard.
Yeah. So first off, hello everybody. Good morning. Thank you for hanging out with us. I hope you're drinking your tea and your coffee, getting ready for your day. My name is Sug Daniels, singer-songwriter, originally from Delaware. I currently live in West Philadelphia. That little clip of that music video and that song that you heard is a song called Take Your Time. I wrote it with my good friend Sam Nobles and Shane Palco. It happened really quick. Shane had actually sent me some guitar. He travels all over. He plays a lot of music. And he just was like, hey, Sug, you want to write a song together? And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. And he kind of sent me a clip of that guitar part. And I wrote later that day, I sat down and I was like, this sounds good. And it just flooded, downloaded into me. I wrote it. I kind of demoed it on my cell phone and sent it back. And probably about a year later, I was hanging out with my friend Sam, making some other music. And I was like, you think this is cool? And he said, yeah. And we recorded the song in his home studio and had a good time. And I was working at that cafe, actually. That cafe in the music video was the cafe that I worked at, called Bison. Shout out to Bison Coffee. And I asked my manager, I had moved into the city about 2 years ago. And I was working there, just like doing my music thing. Just coffee shop is a good, like almost like being a bartender. You can kind of move your hours around. And it's a good place for an artist to work when they're getting into a city. So I said, hey man, you mind if I shoot a music video in here? I think it could be like good promotion. And, I think it works well with the song. And he said, yeah, sounds good. When I wrote it, I was going on a lot of first dates at the time. So I was kind of trying to capture that energy of the excitement of like a first date and the hype of the caffeine and everything. So I just kind of had all the elements to put something fun together that was expressive that people enjoyed. So.
Well, it was really, what I liked about it, it felt carefree, beautiful. You have a lovely voice, a soprano voice. And I just felt the lightness of it. So I really enjoyed it and loved looking at it. I love the sound of it, the rhythm of it, the flow of it, a nice mid-tempo song. But talk about you going into country music. What drew you to the genre?
Well, just like I said earlier, I'm from Delaware. And if you ever been to Delaware, we always say there's two parts, right? There's either above the canal or below the canal. And above the canal is like, Wilmington, Newark. It's Wilmington, Delaware is banking capital of America. It's very industrial. It's very urban. There's there's big buildings and it's very city. And I lived there for a couple years right before I moved to Philly. But I'm originally from Southern Delaware, below the canal, which is all country. It's like I grew up listening to the Chicks. My first country song I think I ever really paid attention to was probably Earl. Earl Has to Die, which is like this feminist, like we're gonna take care of our sisters, we're gonna take care of our girls. And I remember it being a big deal, and I couldn't figure out why because I also listened to a bunch of other genres, and rap kind of felt like they could talk about disrespecting women all day, but when women want to talk about protecting ourselves and protecting each other, like it was like a big thing. And that caught my attention as a little girl. So I always loved country music. Everybody's riding around in trucks and they're blasting what they're blasting. And I don't know. I feel like I had the license to do it. I never felt really weird about it. That's where I'm from. So why shouldn't I?
Well, I want you to talk also a little bit about Black Opry. I've been
Mhm.
following Black Opry on X, formerly Twitter, for more than a year.
Mhm.
And I didn't understand. I said, well, is this a group? I said, it feels like a gathering place for those who like country music, those that want to know more about Black artists in country music. And they are also elevating the visibility of artists, of Black artists that are taking the industry, it feels like by storm, but Black people have always been here in music. So if you can explain a little bit about Black Opry, since you're one of their acts that's traveling on the tour, and then we'll talk about the tour that's coming up and the other artists that are
Yeah.
going to Wolf Trap with you on March 29th.
Yeah. So I linked up with the Black Opry, I think in 2022. I had just moved from Delaware to Philadelphia. And Holly G, who is the originator, the creator, messaged me on X, which was Twitter then, and asked me if I wanted to be in a writers round. And I was like, okay, that sounds cool. It was at City Winery too, which as an artist who just moved to the city, I was excited to. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good gig. And it was paid. I was like, yes, let's do that. And then it's also attached to the WXPN, which is a radio station up here. They put us on the radio, and then we did like an NPR, and I was like, this is big. This is like some really big stuff that's happening. And the reason why it's been catching so much attention is because it is something that is different and that is needed. I had never sat in a writer's round, but what it is there'll be like 4 or 5 of us, 3 of us, 2 of us, however many, and we all sit on stage at the same time. Now we're all our own entities, right? So like some of the artists that are coming to sit in with me, they're like we all have our own complete careers, but we sit on stage all together at the same time, and we'll go through, and everybody will one at a time sing a song, and they'll tell their story, and we'll talk to each other, and we'll talk to the audience, and we'll share our songs and our stories in that format. And that has been, I feel like, really healing for us and really healing for the audience. It's been really informative and really educational. And it's a big party because you got a bunch of like lead singers on stage just like cutting up. And it's so warm. And to me, it always feels like a coming home. I'm so excited because I haven't seen anybody since last month. But last month I was with Tyler Bryant and Grace Gevertz, and we were we were like Vermont. I think we did Vermont together, and some more of the Northeast. And yeah, we do a lot of theaters and festivals, and it's always something different. And I feel people are always like, that sounds like it would be really strange, but it's really beautiful, and you get to discover all these different artists all at
Yeah.
once.
And I want to let people know who's on the tour with you. You're there. You're going to be coming into the review that's going to be at Wolf Trap next Friday, the 29th. So for our listening audience, we are talking to right now Sug Daniels. She is a part of the Black Opry Revue. And along with her at the Barns at Wolf Trap will be Roberta Lee, Tyler Bryant, Rachel Maxan, and Grace Gevertz. Did I pronounce her name correctly?
Yes, Grace Gevertz.
Okay. And I love the concept that you are sharing with us that will take place because we get to know you. We get to know all of you, but we get to know you individually as well as your music,
Mm-hmm.
because you all have an approach, probably a different approach to where that brought you together,
Yeah.
of course. But we're excited. Again, I'm personally excited, but I know there are other people in our audience that have been country music lovers for a long time. I've never hidden it. I mean, I go all the way back. I'm a person of a certain age, so I go all the way back to Patsy Cline,
All
and I
right.
know that Willie Nelson composed the song "Crazy."
Mm-hmm.
So, and then
Mm-hmm.
last night I was at an event where uh, Elton John and his writing partner Bernie Maupin were being honored here in Washington
Uh-huh.
at the Library of Congress. They're getting the Gershwin Award. But who was on the show with them but Garth Brooks?
Mm-hmm.
He's a past Gershwin awardee. Um, Maren Morris was there, who is a country artist as well, and Belinda Carlisle. So it doesn't matter what your background is. And as I was saying, Blacks have been in country music for a while. Some people think of Charlie Pride, but there were others before them. And let's talk about who's on the scene right now. I'd like to kind of get your reaction and us go back and forth. Mickey Guyton and Kane Brown, who were recently nominated for a Country Music Television Award, they have a beautiful duet that's out right now, and they're paving the way. Brittany Spencer, who lives right up the road here in Baltimore. My favorite right now, as I'm getting to know you, and you are quickly becoming one of my faves. The War and the Treaty, the husband and wife
Yes.
at Michael Trotter and Tanya Blount Trotter. They were nominated for a Grammy this year, not under the country category, but Best New Artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing. And again, this is what's happening with country music, our music. And of course, the big news is about Beyonce, who is entering the genre. Her album happens to come out on the 29th. Talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about what you see happening in the industry right now with country music. Your
Yeah, it's
opinion,
it's been really exciting. I think
I'd
even
like
just
to
for
hear
me
your
to join the
idea.
yeah.
Say that
So
again.
I think even when joining the Black Opry, that's been one of my favorite things is just discovering all the people that I have personally been able to sit on stages with. And it feels a lot like coming home and you're discovering all these new people. So I have always been like an indie music kind of. So I love watching people on the rise. I think like some of my favorite music that I'm listening to right now from country music, Nicky Diamonds just put out a new album. He's somebody that I met through the Black Opry. I think he's got less of a country pop and more of like an old school country kind of sound to his voice and to his playing style. Um, Everybody that's on the Black Opry, Roberta Lee's been putting out music consistently, and it's been really fun to watch her rise. It's just exciting to see everybody just kind of come out of the woodwork. And that's what it feels like. Because I know these people, when you hear about best new artists, it's like how these people are, and they're like, you know, I would think like late 40s, early 40s. They're probably not new artists. They're new to us. They're new to what's happening in the music scene. But I think just the whole entire movement in general has been really beautiful to watch.
Mhm.
And as much as I love to dabble in country, I think I really find myself so pulled to the folk Americana roots because it has a bit more storytelling and it has a bit more room for me to grow into whatever I decide that I want my music to sound like. Because, before I did this, I was in a soul band. And before I was in a soul band, I did hip hop. And they all felt like they were a part of me. Just like Beyonce has every right to create a country album. I'm not even sure everybody loves Beyonce. She's one of the best musicians, one of the best singers in our time. So if she wants to express herself through the roots of how she grew up, I think we not only should there not be any drama about it, we should be so excited to hear what she has to say and how she has to express it.
That's wonderful. That you are saying the right thing in terms of how we need to receive this, because she's going to bring some more eyes and ears to country. And also the fact that I think there are a lot of artists, country artists, that are excited. I know they are excited. I read an article where station owners of country stations, they're really excited about it because they know it's going to bring more listeners to their
Yes.
stations. I'm like, okay, are the Black folks in country music like, I want to do a duet with Beyonce. I want to do a duet with Beyonce. say, there's this lot of chatter. Everybody wants to have an opportunity to embrace her, embrace what she's going to bring to the genre, but also bring more attention to who is out there and who's up and coming. But as you said, have been out there for a long time and they're worthy of wider recognition. Talk
Yes.
about yeah. Now, how long are you going to be on the Opry Revue tour?
At the moment, this is my last one on the books, but they book all throughout the year. It's really a big collective, right? So they have a big Rolodex, big database of all the musicians and all the artists in different parts of the country. So when there are things that are close by, and sometimes not so close by, which is also really fun, they send me opportunities, and as long as I'm free, I'll go ahead and ride wherever, because for me, who has been making music professionally since I was about 17, 18 years old, and I'm 33 now. I know Black don't crack. We out here looking good. But I've never experienced I've never experienced anything like this. We're all at these different points in our careers too, so it's good for us as artists to be able to have access to these other musicians that can help us with, okay, who are you using for production? Like, how do you feel about labels right now? Like, how are you doing your booking outside of the Black Opry? So it's such a like renaissance, I feel like, that's happening right now, in not just country, but folk, roots, Americana. When Beyonce put this music
Right.
out, and she gave out the credits, she had Rhiannon Giddens, who was a part of the Carolina Chocolate Drops, which was not just a country band or a folk, but they did like bluegrass. They had a banjo player, Don Flemons, who I got a chance to open for when he came to Philadelphia. So that's roots music. And then she had, oh man, I can't, my name is slipping, but the guy who plays the slide, he has the family band. I can't remember his name, but he does like soul gospel music. So everyone is kind of coming up. It's like tying your ships together. To let everybody rise up together. So at the moment, this is my last one on the books. But me and Holly G, and Connor Tanner, sorry, we're always chatting, and I'm sure they'll have me on something soon. But
I'm
even
sure they
outside of
will.
that,
And I'm glad
but
you
even
mentioned
outside of that,
Rihanna.
we all do our own touring and stuff like that. So even if you don't see us on a Black Opry lineup, you can always follow the artists individually. And I play full band, duo. I tour all over. I'm going. I do a Midwest tour coming up in April, so I'll be out in Minnesota and Kansas City. So you guys can catch me. If not with the Black Opry, doing some solo stuff or with my band.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Rihanna because you are an instrumentalist. When I've seen a couple of your videos, you play guitar. And tell me what else? A smaller, was that a ukulele? I was like, is she playing a ukulele? It
Okay.
looks like it. It sounds like it. But tell us all the instruments that
Okay,
you
so I
perform.
have to be honest. I can't pretend like I actually don't play guitar. I play maybe a little bit of bass, but mostly just to write songs. I play I play ukulele. That's my instrument. I own a banjo, but my claim to fame is the ukulele. And I picked it up during the pandemic. I had always been like the front for bands. I'd always been the singer. Like I played in a soul band, and I was a lead singer. And then I was a rapper for a long time, and I would sing a lot of the hooks. But during the pandemic, I still had all this music inside of me. And my roommate at the time had a ukulele. And it's got 4 strings, and she was a guitar player. She was like a guitar player in a rock band, and it just felt intimidating to me to play a guitar. So I picked up the ukulele and started writing songs, and it felt an immediate kinship to this instrument. So that's what I play. My bigger one is a baritone ukulele, so that kind of looks like a guitar, and it's got the
Oh,
last 4 strings of a guitar, but it's not a guitar; it's a ukulele.
okay. Well, see, folks, we're learning all about Sug Daniels. And it's so interesting in terms of how you even came to this place in your career. It's been the right thing at the right time for you.
Mhm.
We're going to see her as a part of the Black Opry Revue. They've been on tour for a while, but they're going to be at the Barns at Wolf Trap on March 29th at 8 o'clock p.m. That's wolftrap.org for tickets. Also, we're putting up information about Shug's social media. She is on all the platforms.
Yes.
All the platforms, people. We're talking Facebook. I went onto your IG site last night to promote this show today. So keep your eye on her and keep your eye on Black Opry. Black Opry has a presence on Instagram and also a presence on X, formerly known as Twitter. And that's where you can keep up with all the artists that are using this platform, this opportunity to network and to grow their space and talent and on the road. And so, thank you, Shug, for being with us today on Informer Live. We are the pop up version of Let's Talk that airs tomorrow at noon. And the same place you found us here, you can find Let's Talk tomorrow at noon. And we're excited again about having the time with you, Shug. And everybody, please have a great day.
Just hanging out now, huh?
I know. Love it.
And you said you're going to be there. I'll see you there then.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's going to be lovely. That's going to be
Yeah,
so
so I look forward to meeting you all, and I'm thinking that you're going to have a table set up with merch.
always, absolutely.
Yeah,
You got to. You got to.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we look forward to it, and I just wanted my Chevy let me know that my connection was a little wobbly,
That's all right.
so that's why I kept
Right.
thinking that you were cutting out, but it was really on my end. So
That's okay.
we will hear from Chevy, and Chevy will walk us out of this. So let's just hang in there for a little bit more.